My name is Alyssa Marie, and I'm so excited just to be jumping on here with you today to teach you a little bit more about going into building your brand. And now that you know how to tell your story, how to talk about it, I want to help you kind of transition over to an even just bigger vision for building your brand. And one thing that we're going to be talking about today, make sure first you have your notes out, you're taking a lot of them, because that is one thing you are more likely to do when you're writing it down is take action. So make sure that you have your notebook out. I want to talk to you today about building your brand. When it comes to building your brand on social, yes, one of the biggest things that you can be doing is telling your story. But also, there's a lot that goes into your story as well. And so, I wanted to talk to you about what we call here at It Works the 5 pillars. The 5 pillars are just 5 core things that your brand is being built around. For some of you, maybe you're just getting started. You might have only 2 to 3 pillars that you can think of. As you grow your business, as you grow your friendships, as you grow yourself, your pillars will begin to expand even more. So for example, when it comes to your pillars, this is everything that your social media is based around. This is a part of building that brand. So for myself, I have myself in the middle, and then so I want you, if you're taking notes, I want you to write down a big circle with your name in the middle, and then we're going to spider off 5 different things. These are going to be what are called our pillars. Like I said, you may have a couple of less, which is totally okay. So for me, for my 5 pillars, I would have faith, personal development, family. I just love to travel. I love fashion. I love all of those things, and I love growth. So those would be a couple of my main pillars, because that's a lot of what my social media is based around. So I want you to go ahead, write down your name, and I want you to think of what your pillars might be. Maybe for some of you, it is faith, or it could be fitness. You could be a cook. Maybe you love to cook. Maybe you love to sew. Maybe you're a coach of some sort. Maybe you're a teacher. And I want you thinking of the things, if we sat down for coffee, okay, if we're sitting down for coffee, what could you just sit there and talk to me about for hours? Those are probably the things that are a part of your 5 pillars. So when it comes to these pillars, the reason that we want to have those in place is because that's what's going to help us start creating content that counts. And now that you know how to tell your story, we're going to start telling your story in ways as we're sharing these pillars with your audience as well. So before we get into that, one thing that I do want to go over is just making sure that your profile is all set up for success. So the first thing is, when it comes to your profile picture, you want this to be a bright, crisp image of yourself. Normally with a solid backdrop is always awesome, just so that we can see your face, we can see your smile, we feel a little more connected to you. You can do this simply by standing in front of a brick wall, a colored wall, with portrait mode on your phone, and you could even use an app that creates a solid background behind you. One I love for that is called Pixar. So you can create a solid background behind you without having to leave your house. And then once we have your profile picture, you want to make sure that your bio is all set up. And maybe some of you need to take time today to really go through that, to make sure that that is also set up for success. So in your bio, this is just a description of who are you? How can I feel connected to you? What value are you bringing to me? How can I contact you? Your bio is really like you're pitching yourself. So I want your bio to have a description of 1 to 2 words describing you and who you are. And the next is just, you want to make this so simple. You want your bio to be something where a 5-year-old could read it and understand who you are and what you do. Okay. And also, what are some of the reasons that I should be following you? What value are you bringing to me? Why should I follow you? So you want to have something where, listing a reason like, why should I follow you? What value are you bringing? Are you like empowering people to do X, Y, and Z? Are you all about working from Wi-Fi? Are you like what value do you add? What value are you bringing to the table? And here's the thing, your Instagram account isn't about you. So I want you to understand that your Facebook, none of this is about you. This is about the value and what you can do to add to others. This is about your followers. So you just also want to make sure that you have somewhere where I can connect with you, where I can contact you, whether that's via email. You have a link in your profile. You absolutely should. If you don't have a website, use your Facebook link. If you're on Facebook, you can use your Instagram or your YouTube if you have a video over there. But you always want to make sure there's a way that I can contact you and there's a link that it takes me to. Also, it's kind of important for people to know where you're located. And knowing where you're located is just something you can simply add right into your bio. Whenever you're chatting a little bit with more, who you are, this is so great to have. And next is making sure that you have just something where it draws people in, like a bold line that explains who you are, what you do, how you are going to serve me if I was coming over to your page. So that is so important to make sure that you have all set up. You can use emojis, you can change your fonts with the font generator. If you just Google that, you'll see lots of different fonts that you can use. You can bold stuff, you can underline things, make it really fun, make it yours, okay? This is all about you adding value to others by being yourself. That's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this is your pillars are going to look a lot different than mine, which is totally okay. My pillars, they might look similar to someone else, or they might look the total opposite from someone else. But I want you to always remain who you are, okay? And I want you to write down, because you are taking notes, I want you to write down consistency and visibility. Consistency and visibility. These are two of the greatest things that you can be when it comes to building your brand online. And as we start to do this, you'll notice the more visible you are, the more interaction you're going to get, the more direct messages you're going to get, the more inquiries you'll get about your business and these incredible products. But visibility and consistency, that's the key. If you're going to take the time to figure out your 5 pillars, if you're going to take the time, like they talked about, how to tell your story, do the work that goes into that. Take the time to do it. And then as you begin, stay consistent and watch what happens when you do. It will just be absolutely incredible. So one thing I want to encourage you to do as well is when it comes to creating your content, you have your 5 pillars. So based off of your 5 pillars, you're going to have hundreds of things in those categories to be talking about and creating content with every single day. It will be a non-going process, but you want to make sure that you're also like adding value in some way or another to everyone who's coming to your page by teaching them something, or being vulnerable and sharing something with them by offering, you're offering a product, you're offering an incredible business. So you want to always be just teaching someone, adding value, and sharing a tip. Whether that's maybe you're a teacher and you're sharing like some tips that with everything that you do in your classroom, maybe you're sharing tips on that, or maybe you're incredible in the kitchen and you just share like little tips on your stories like once a week. That's something you can absolutely do. But building your brand will come full circle. Now you know how to tell your story. You know how to select your 5 pillars, and that's what your social media becomes, is about adding value in the ways that you feel the most confident. Like you feel like you could sit down and not force writing anything. And a good way to know what people think about you when they hear your name, you can ask, make this a social media engagement post. When you think of my name, what do you think of? Is it TJ Maxx? Is it she's always in the kitchen? Is it like he's an incredible mentor and coach? Is it, they're all about talking about just talking about empowering others. So there is so much content that you can create, especially once you ask your audience online, what do they think about when they see you or hear your name? It's a great way to just really get to know what your audience sees when they come to your page. And you want it to be a place of positivity. You want it to be a place where people feel confident when they come over to your page. They want to be in that space. You have 3 seconds, 3 seconds to make an impression when someone comes over. That's why your bio is so important. That's why having a contact link and a link in your profile is so important. That's why your profile picture is so important. And then you'll just take time creating content based on what your audience is wanting. And on Instagram, you can look up your analytics where you can see where are they located? What are the ages of most of your audience? You can look at your posts to see which ones are getting better engagement than others so that you know, like, wow, they really loved when I was talking about a season in my life where I was struggling with my weight or with my leadership, or like maybe it's a post where you're adding value and you're sharing like 5 free things to do over the weekends. Like you just gotta get creative. But make sure that you're looking at your analytics. You can Google how to do that and look up and see which posts are getting the most engagement. Okay, it is so incredible to do, and that will help when it comes to really building your brand. Is knowing what your audience wants from you, because remember, this isn't about you. This is about your audience. It's about them. Okay, so make sure that you are serving them at the highest level. Commit to getting 1% better on social every single day, and you will absolutely love what happens. You'll love what happens when you start to do that. But I just want you to know that when you're adding value, when you're consistent, when you're staying visible, that is when your business blooms. That is when people come to your page. Remember, you have about 3 seconds for them to decide if they want to stay. Like, create a space where people want to stay. Study, watch YouTube videos of how to continue building your brand. There's so much training through our company of how to grow on social. So make sure that you're taking full advantage of that and really putting the time in to learn. And maybe you are in a place where you've been in the business for a little bit. It's time to maybe reinvent yourself. There's never a perfect time. So don't wait around for that perfect time to start reinventing yourself. I want to encourage you to do it right now. Okay? Do it now before it's too late. You want to just reinvent yourself if you need to. But visibility, consistency, that is the key. Okay? So I want you to look at your 5 pillars and start creating posts and content. And if you have like an idea that downloads to you, put it in the notes section of your phone and create content that way. You don't have to just stop everything you're doing to write a post. You can do it here and there, save up some posts, save up some photos, and then document as you go. You can create an entire plan for your social when you're doing that based on your 5 pillars. You're going to be sharing something from there every day while incorporating your story in with it. So I just want to encourage you, start here, right where you are, okay? With what you have. You don't have to have anything crazy to do this, okay? And you'll never know if you don't just go for it. You just have to say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go for it. Figure out your pillars, start developing content that is always adding value, utilize the trainings, utilize everything that we offer here, do some of the homework, take the time to prep whatever you need to prep, but step out, okay? Go be seen and go be visible and go share your incredible story. Go add value to as many people as you can. And it's not always going to be perfect, trust me. But as long as you remain consistent and as long as you're always willing to grow and to learn something new and you're committed to being visible, something absolutely incredible will come from it. So go and do your homework later on tonight or tomorrow morning. Get everything situated. Start figuring out, writing your story down. What are your 5 pillars? and just stinking go for it. But I cannot wait to celebrate you as you're building your brand. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad that you are here. And I hope you enjoy everything that you are learning today. See you later.